Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and another episode here on Witcombe Park Farm. We are in June 4, some time has passed, and we are spending the morning getting the combine ready to go. We have run out of voltage on the combine. It is it's been sitting this whole time. And what does that say? Massey insufficient. Okay, so now the Massey's run out of run out of voltage. We're gonna let this run for a little bit. So you're telling me that the Massey, that doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. Unless that's just a new error with this, I don't know. We're gonna shut this down now. Because we gotta grease this combine up. That is one of the other issues going on with the combine. Alright, we're just gonna grease it up. Try to find some grease zerks. Alright, already lubricated. Perfect. So that should be good. Let's just see. We'll do an inspection. Oh, right. We gotta stop the engine. I've also installed this walking mod. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not yet. But honestly, it's pretty cool. Okay, wait a second. Okay. It said low voltage, so hopefully we don't have to jump it again tomorrow. Hopefully it's just figured out, but do a quick inspection. We've got through the month of June. There's really not been much going on. Looks like everything is good to go, so that should be ready to rock and roll for our canola harvest next month. But yeah, I've installed this walking mod. I kind of like it, although the slow walking is... I gotta get used to it. I do. It's definitely slow. So now the running is kind of... Yeah, I don't know. Is the running slower too? I can't tell. I'm used to my million-mile-an-hour run that I've been starting to get accustomed to, but... what have we been doing? Well, we installed the... Which mod is it? It is called... Well, we installed everything constructible, so that's cool. We installed... Or we updated red tape mod. Animal waste. So we have our animal waste on 5 times now, which still doesn't really feel like that much. But again, we only have 26 cows. So I feel like it fits. We have 741 food for them. Probably need to feed these guys. So a few calves that are 5 months. Once these guys grow, we're going to put them in this shed here. But yeah, I think we need to get some grass in for the calves. We're going to have the milk truck is going to be coming in soon. Just getting that warmed up. We got to get some fuel in that as well. We've mucked out the barn a few times, so we're getting a little bit of pile of manure there. We serviced all of our tractors, so our JCB, our 190, the 6460 have all been serviced. I don't think we did not service the 690, but so all the tractors should be good to go, and we haven't had any issues with them. We sold a lot of sheep, but we still have a lot of sheep. As you can see, there is a lot of sheep in here. We just kind of sold off the older sheep, like the real old sheep that didn't have the best like genetics, essentially. But yeah, we still have a lot of lambs, or a lot of sheep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they just gave birth, actually. Like some of these are 1 month. A few of these are 0. So literally, like, just this month they gave birth. Yeah, so pretty much the jobs for today are finished. All I have to do, like I said, is get some grass in to the calves. And then we're going to be jumping into next month and doing some canola harvest, as well as possibly some silage and hay. Welcome to July 1, everybody. About 7:30, we just got done feeding the cows. We're actually gonna head over here, do a little crop tour, and I'm gonna actually hop in the side by side to do this. We're gonna check a few different spots. I don't want to check the high spot and the low spot for moisture. Want to make sure we are good to go to harvest this crop. This should do. But for canola, it's pretty much in grade A right now. 8 to 10%, right? Well, I guess it needs to be a slight bit drier. I think it was, what to say, 8.5 or 10.5. We're gonna go down to the low spot because the low spot should be a little bit wetter. I'm looking forward to getting in the combine finally, doing some harvesting. I like that we have it split up, these two fields, in this one over here, and then we'll have our barley in the other two. That'll be nice. Okay, so that's 10.82. Can we sneak around here? Kind of hoping so. I would really love to build some sort of track across the railroad tracks somehow. That would be kind of cool. Obviously we'd need some major planning permissions and stuff for that, but that would be pretty cool to be able to do. I do want to plow in this verge area and get some more ground out of that field. Can we drive around this one? I think we can. Just doing a little off-road, and that's why you got a side-by-side, because you can do these kind of things, right? Just trying to not have to go down into town now. We can get around this tree. Go. Yeah, but then if we did plow in all this grass ground to make it arable field, we wouldn't be able to do these kind of things. So maybe we don't. I don't know. Maybe we rethink that. Nah, probably at the end of the day it'll be worth it if we did that for the extra crop in the fields. And just like that, we are out here at our field. So we'll check the low spot over here. And I don't think it's going to be a huge difference, so I don't think we should be too bothered by it. Let's see. $10.79. Our lowest so far is actually over here. That 10.82 or something, right? We'll just check quick what the moisture is up on this end. Pretty sure it's going to be a little over 10, but we'll just make sure. 10.75. No. Okay. So that is our answer. We're gonna wait a little bit longer, which is good because we have a new purchase that is up at the agri-yard. Oh, I forgot that we're driving on the right-hand side. Sorry, folks. American here doesn't know how to drive on the right side of the road. Usually I do pretty good at it, but I've been playing on an American map lately and been driving on the right side. So, I'm gonna hop in our tractor and I'm gonna bring it up to the agri-yard because there is, like I said, a new purchase that we have to pick up. Okay, so this actually is paid for already. We were up here earlier and we got a call and he said they got this trailer in, and pretty much immediately I said yes, I'll take it without even looking. It's in really good condition. Pretty much brand spanking new almost. So, the West trailer. Very nice. Repainted almost by the previous, it was repainted by the previous owner. Yeah, it's really good condition. No rust on it or anything, so. This was, I want to say 14,000 for this one. And if you have seen that we have a little bit less money, that's because we had fuel delivered. So, yeah, there's some good pieces of kit here. Oh, this one I gotta show you guys. Really like this one. Very tempted to buy this. Very, very tempted. 150 horsepower requirement. Simba subsoiler. Ugh, really want this piece. That would be really nice. It's got a nice finishing disc on the back too. So 13,000. The issue is that they don't allow financing here. He's just not to that point yet where he can do that, so we'd have to talk to the bank, and I don't know if the bank would actually allow us to do that. So that's kind of the issue, but I really like that. And I really, really want to get it. I think one of those new is probably, 25,000 or so. So we would definitely be saving. I mean, it's got wear on it, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't take long for a piece of tillage equipment to get some wear on it. But yeah, I'm pumped about this this trailer. We finally got ourselves a little bit bigger of a trailer. That'll be nice. We won't need to be able, or we won't need to get out of the combine nearly as much. You can just pedal to the metal, get her done. And just like I was worried about, the combine is dead again. So we're going to get the telehandler here. We're also going to use the telehandler to pull the header down to the field too. Let's see. Here are jumper cables. There's those. There's those. Start this up. It was like dead. It wouldn't even turn over once for me. So, okay. Now we can at least get it warmed up. Get the jumpers off. Get them off this too. And then we need to hook this up to the header cart. I'm gonna get a little bit more squared up here. I didn't want to warm up the New Holland, and I didn't want to disconnect the 690 from the feeder wagon. So this will do perfectly fine. See if we can back this in first person. I don't think we should have any issues with it. Although it is a little bit hard to see when we have the boom up like that. I guess we can put that down. Just trying to get it enough room so it can get the combine in. That might do. We'll have to see. We're gonna grab the combine now, get hooked up, make sure everything's running right, and start cutting some canola. Alright, we got the head on. Did have to change it up a little bit. I could not get the combine in sideways like we wanted to. Oh, we came down here where we had a little bit more room. No, we'll just park this header trailer right there, get it out of the way, get in the combine and get going. I know that canola isn't the highest yielding crop, so I'm doubting that we're going to get anything higher or more than one trailer load here. I did forget to put the realistic harvesting mod in. I really wanted to get that in. I don't think there's straw yet. There's no straw for this, which is a-okay with me. We're actually gonna just cut this down the edge right now. And then we'll do our headlands on this side, and we'll cut back and do our headlands on the other side. See what our yields are. Pretty similar on the yield map what we had previously. Maybe we'll get the realistic harvesting mod in for barley. Maybe we can plan on that. So many mods to keep track of these days. Especially script mods, thanks to AI. A lot of people are using AI to create their mods. We certainly didn't have this many mods before that. I'm not saying that AI does all of them, but I mean, either way, it's a nice tool, right? To be able to use to help out. But no diss in here, but use the tools that are available to you. We are currently at 10%, looks like. I don't know what the 91% is. Anybody know in the comments what this is? This is your moisture. Oh, is this your grade? I think this might be our grade. We're grade A right now because we're 92%. Yeah, I think that's our grade. What is the shift N? Did Oz change this up? Is Oz the moisture? I don't remember who the moisture mod. I think it's Oz. Didn't he change it up a little bit, or is that just something that Scroft might have been talking about that he was going to do? I'm not exactly sure. Alright, we'll take another straight pass down this way. And something unique about canola, which I'm sure a lot of you are actually very aware of, is that they have these cutter bars on. It's mostly for like when you're in the one that's inside the crop to cut through the stalks, essentially, because the stalks are very stalky. So actually, with that being said, my plan is, because it's a very hard stalk, we're going to come in here with the mulcher and mulch this ground too before we plow it or anything like that. Because that is a good way to puncture some tires. Put some wear on your tires at least. So if we can reduce or avoid that as much as possible, we will. Just pulling up to the trailer now for our first dump of canola into our new trailer. Always cool to see the canola seeds all nice and black looking, soon to be processed into canola oil, I would assume, because that is really the only use that I know of for canola. If I am completely wrong there, again, feel free to let me know in the comments. But really, that's, yeah, like I said, I think that's kind of the only use canola has, but maybe I'll do a little research. I'm sure there's other uses for it. And probably very practical ones that I don't even have any idea about. Okay, and there goes the last little bit of the, oh, never mind, we have this little triangle that we're gonna get. I think we're heading this way, or else we probably would have just forgot about this. So we have probably almost 10,000 liters in the trailer. And like I said, we fit this whole thing in this one trailer. It is not a very high yielding crop, like I had mentioned as well. We're gonna bring this, yeah, a little over 10,000 liters, 11 and a half or so. We are going to bring this over to the shed, the grain shed, and get it dumped. But first, we're gonna power wash it down. I want to make sure that we have a nice clean area here to dump the grain onto. We've had machines sitting in there in the spot where we're going to dump the canola for the past, what, 10 months or so. So we are going to do that first. Obviously, I know that it is completely unnecessary for farm sim standards, but roleplay. Humor me. I do like a bit of roleplay, as we all know. Alright. Let's grab the power wash. From down here. We're gonna move it up there. The barley will go in on this side. The canola, we're putting it on this side. Just get her hose down. The walls. We'll get the floor. Make sure we have a nice clean concrete surface here. There we go. That'll do. Would probably be a good idea of me to let it dry. But we're not going to go that far. There we go. Alright. Now let's get this dumped. I honestly thought that maybe would take a little bit longer. That's why I shut the tractor down. Alright, and our first load of crop is being dumped with our new trailer. Here we go. Perfect. And now we're gonna just work on getting equipment moved over to the next field. And we should honestly be done with canola harvest by the end of the day. I know, it went quick. But that's what happens when we have little fields. Alright, so we are on the combine's maiden voyage into town to get to our other field. Hopefully, the traffic is kind to us. Thank you for stopping a little bit early there so I could get through. A little nerve-wracking driving this thing through the center of town, but that time it was not too bad. As you can see, we got the tractor and trailer up here and the JCB with the head. Alright, there we go. Gotta get the combine unfolded as well. I'm actually going to move this quick so it is not in the way. I know it probably would have been okay, but just want to make sure it is completely out of the way. There we go. Alright, now back to the combine. We'll toss it into a time lapse. I'll see you guys on the other side. Right, welcome back. Oh, maybe? Thought that was gonna work. Can we... There we go. We are refilling Alexian. I don't know if you guys saw during the time lapse, but we were running very low on fuel, so I did not want to risk running out of fuel on the way back to the farm. I know it's not super far away, but it actually, the fuel depletes pretty quick. Fuel in. Now we can head back to the farm. We are going to check on the cattle, actually. And I think we're just going to leave the combine in the field for a little bit. Because I do think our cattle do need some feed and such. Oh, man, he was zipping through there. So, yeah, we need to do that. And then probably later this evening, we'll head back down and get the combine. And then July 2, I'm planning on getting some slurry spread on those 2 canola fields. Well, false. We are going to get some mulching. We're going to get the mulcher on the 6460. We're going to do some mulching. Which you might actually have Tom do. And we'll be following not too far behind him with the slurry tanker. Alright, everybody, welcome to July 2. Tom has been busy at it today. He has started at around 6:30 this morning on the 6460 in the mulcher, so that we can now get some slurry spread on these fields. He's actually over in the other field now, as you can see, over there. He kind of just got over there, and he gave us a call and let us know, so we hopped in the 190, got the spreader hooked up. I am excited to run this. Gonna have to figure out what the spread width is. Seems like we can get over a little bit farther left. Maybe that's a little too much. But yeah, we're spreading now. It's been a long time coming to actually be able to get this manure spread. And as we know, with precision farming, not always the most accurate, or I mean even. I mean, I guess it's kind of as accurate as it can be, but not always the most even spread, because we do play with like the variable speed and width stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be these are gonna empty quick. We're laying it down as thick as we can, pretty much. I don't think you can actually change. I thought at one point you could change like the actual solid manure to like lay it down like double thick or something, but I think maybe with precision farming that's not a thing. I don't know. I'm not sure. That was one up and down, which is to be expected. These tankers are not very big, and that's okay. We don't need a huge tanker because we really don't have any fields that are off the farm. Everything is right nice and close, which is good. Might be a bit annoying having to drive through town every time, but it is what it is. I'd like to get this pit and manure spreader configured to use the new manure system that what's his name, Dizzy Dwarf something like that. Same guy that came out with the really nice livestock trailer that I had on the first episode. I want to get back to using that actually. And he has a few sheds, like grain storage sheds, and a really nice cow barn and dairy cow barn and stuff. But he has come out with that mod, and I want to get this configured so I can use that with like the slurry pipes and stuff. Also, I did finally figure out that the ADS mod does have settings. I'll show you guys that actually after, or while we're filling this tanker. With how fast we're spreading right now, we might have to wait on Tom again. Is okay, we got plenty of stuff we can do. We're probably gonna end up spreading a little bit of synthetic dirt on our grass ground that we cut. We have not put any fertilizer on that yet, and I would like to have highest yields possible, because we are struggling for feed this year. Maybe 1 or 2 more tanks full. We'll have this field all done. I don't know about you guys, but seeing all these farm builds and whatnot, especially scroffs, really makes me wish that I would have built my own farm. Although I still am very much enjoying this farm, but there is part of me that really wishes that I would have taken the time to build my own farm. But anyway, so if we actually go, so those of you that were like me and didn't know how to actually access the settings, you actually hit like the P button, so you go into your same menu that you buy vehicles, but you go down to ADS, and then up here is ADS settings, and there's all the settings. So you have, actually going to turn warning messages off. And then we have our service interval, so we actually bumped that up to 15 hours. Vehicle lifespan, I bumped up from 100 to 260. System stress rate, we actually want to put that down. From overload, overheating, wheel slip. I think this was originally at 80 or something. I think I accidentally set it to 90. Passive wear is 5%. Age-related wear is on. Instant inspection, so you wouldn't actually have to wait like when you hold down R or whatever, you wouldn't have to actually wait for that. Just cool. There's all sorts of sweet stuff in here, so definitely, if you're like me, check this out, because it can make a difference. Alternator max output, standby current, pre-shift maintenance. So I actually bumped up the lubrication. Clogging speed is actually at 100 already. I did turn this off, AI overload and overheating, so when the AI is using it, it's not gonna like overload and break down and stuff, because that can be kind of annoying. I also now see that the triangle warning light is not going off. I was hoping that was just from, you know, running the revs a little too high, but it is not looking that way. It's looking like the 190 just might have another maintenance issue. Should be insane. Tom looks like he is done with his end rows. I think he started on his end rows mulching. So he's gonna be doing his kind of straight up and down passes now with that mulcher. And probably not too long from now, we should be able to get some slurry spread over there. Right, it's about 2:30 now, a little after. Tom is still going, but I figured he had enough done now that we could get in here. We did figure out what the issue on this tractor is, and it's actually a hydraulic pump seal. So that's not great, but luckily this spreader is just PTO driven, so not too much of a hindrance for this job at the moment. But that needs to be taken care of. It's going to be almost $3,000 to get the those seals replaced. Just another evening in the workshop. Seems like that's how we are always finishing our days off. We're lucky, honestly, at this point, if we don't have some sort of issue by the end of the day with one of these two tractors, so yeah. This winter, I swear we are going to do something about it if we have the ability to. Right, we are making what I hope is our last load down here, but I think with how it's looking, we might have to go back for a little bit more. I'm also thinking that these two fields, this one and this one, we will be putting into grass. Gonna put some actual field grass down instead of the like meadow grass that we've been doing. So we are gonna have time to prep that. I think I'm gonna take one of the fields out of rotation with grass. And I think it's gonna be the one that's behind the farm shop. That's my plan ultimately. So I think we're actually gonna keep the hilly field as a grass field, although we might end up plowing it and reseeding it. But yeah, so that one's gonna remain grass, and then I think these two fields are gonna go into grass, so we can essentially start growing our herd again, because we do have a bunch of calves on the way. So, you know, by this time next year, when if we didn't add another grass field into rotation, we might be herding for feed. So I'm trying to think ahead a little bit. So that's the plan there. The rest of the month, we need to put some fertilizer, spread some fertilizer on our two grass fields right now. We might even get some lime down on the two fields that we just spread slurry on that are going into grass. Just to get them prepped. And then we can start looking to plow that in as well. I don't know what the planting windows are for field grass, but it's something we will look into for sure. I guess we can look into it once we get this parked up. I'm not gonna bother with going back over there just for that little strip on this north side of the field that we didn't get finished up. As you can see, I just told him to leave it down here. We'll spray the tractor down and whatnot, get it refueled. There we go. That job is finished. Gotta get some straw spread for these guys as well. I did end up going into the mod itself, the realistic livestock mod, and increasing the manure and the straw and the slurry. So and I increased them all by 30%, which is quite significant. I think the straw consumption went from like 125 or something to 800, or I don't know what it is. It may have been more than 30%, but I can't remember right now. It was a few days ago when I did it, and it's now just recording since I've done it. So yeah, we should be, it's definitely going down a lot quicker. If we take a look here, yeah, I mean, we started the day with over 2,000, so it's definitely going down quicker. It means that we're going to have to actually use our straw, which is great. And we will be able to have more manure and slurry as well. So I increased the number for the slurry and manure like I did with the straw, the same percentage. While we were waiting actually for Tom, before we started spreading slurry, we did move the calves that are 6 months old into the cow barn up here. So we need to start making sure we're feeding them, because we haven't had to feed anything in this barn for quite a while, actually. So I'll have to stay up on that as well. So yeah, that's kind of the plan for the rest of the month. I am going to do all of that off camera, I think, because I just want to get into, for next episode, I just want to get into the harvest, the barley harvest on field 53. Oh, we had another field. Is this the only field we have in barley? It might be, actually, isn't it? Yes, it is. I thought we had a second field for some reason. Okay. Yes, barley harvest next month. So that's the plan. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Thank you to my YouTube channel members, especially the new guys, and especially the old guys. We have a lot of guys that have been supporting for over 2 years, which is insane. You guys are literally the best. But shout out to the new guys as well. Appreciate you joining. Definitely consider, if you haven't joined, to join. I do put videos out a little bit early, not all the time. I'm not always on time with that, but a lot of the time I try to get my videos out a few days early for my YouTube channel members, so that is one of the perks. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Catch you in the next one.